on their numerous TVs while enjoying their drink menu and happy hour specials. And the patio is open to enjoy the warmer months, and even when it's not too warm, they've got heaters and curtains. On Louisiana Avenue north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park, your next get-together with friends or family will be great at the Park Tavern.
With your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. Sunny skies and 87 for a high today. Clear skies tonight, a low of 69. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a high of 81. Cafe Latte provides a cafe dining experience with delicious gourmet quality food. Their ever-changing menu of award-winning salads and sandwiches and soups means you're sure to find something you'll love. Cafe Latte, located off Victoria and Grand. Make a reservation or call for takeout.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park, located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another gorgeous day here in the Twin Cities. I know I say that every Saturday, but it seems like it always is. And I am so grateful to be here with you today. I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your highest quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Allison Breininger, founder and executive director of The Negative Space. And she is here to talk about the Negative Space's mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. A caregiver for her husband for the last 14 years, Allison created this nonprofit after experiencing firsthand that caregivers are often in the background of the picture, vital yet unseen, just like the artistic concept of negative space. Her organization provides direct services to caregivers, such as the In Sickness podcast, which has more than 100 episodes, virtual support groups for caregivers of all kinds, one-on-one support, social media content, and The Storyline, an online space that caregivers can access for support at any time in their caregiving lives. The Negative Space also aims to change the landscape around how caregivers are seen and supported. To meet that need, they do frequent speaking engagements to med students, medical professionals, faith leaders, and the community about the realities of caregiving and how they can show up for the caregivers in their lives. You will enjoy listening to my conversation today with Allison Breininger. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows. And we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week. We are so grateful for that, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website. And we can also be found on your favorite streaming service, such as Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there's two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show producer, Adam, will get your call in the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. Or you can directly text us your question at 612-999-3426. 888-726. Now, don't worry. If you missed our contact numbers, I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I want to welcome my special guest for today's show. You're going to really enjoy listening to her. I am looking forward to learning more about her and her organization. Allison Breininger, the founder and executive director of The Negative Space. Welcome to the show, Allison.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, this is great. When I first saw, your organization, The Negative Space,
Mhm.
I thought, I have never heard of that, which is part of the reason why we do these shows.
Right.
But I was fascinated. Why would somebody call their organization The Negative
Negative.
Space?
Mhm.
It's everyone wants to have a positive thing.
Exactly.
Now we're going to learn about that
Yeah.
here in a few minutes, but it was just, I have to tell people, they're going, wait a minute, what? The negative space?
Mhm.
And I said, anyways, we're going to talk about that. But first, people love to learn about our guest.
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about your background,
Sure.
whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then we'll move into kind of what inspired you to start this organization, which
Sure.
has a great mission.
Thank you. And thanks again for having me here and for having, anytime that caregivers get to be in the spotlight, I'm thrilled. So thank you for this opportunity. Yeah. So I have been here in the Twin Cities since college. I'm a St. Paul girl through and through. I crossed the river to be here today. And we have a daughter who is a sophomore at Augsburg and is just doing great. But a big part of my story is that I married my high school sweetheart, Sean. And so we have been together so long, and he has a rare genetic disease called Fanconi anemia. And what that does is it's a bone marrow failure syndrome and also causes cancer at a rate of around 700 times that of the rest of us. Yeah.
Wow.
So he was diagnosed later in life, which is quite rare for the disease. We are fortunate, we didn't realize this at the time, but the University of Minnesota is one of the world's leading centers for this disease. So we found out afterwards that there are people with this disease coming from literally around the world to have their transplants, their bone marrow transplants here. And so we're just fortunate that this was where we were already calling home. So he was diagnosed in his early 30s. He went almost immediately to bone marrow transplant, and then since then has had cancer after cancer after cancer. He had tongue cancer and had part of his tongue removed. Bladder cancer, had his bladder removed. Throat cancer twice. Esophageal cancer. About a couple hundred tongue cancers or skin cancers, and then now is getting a lot of oral cancers, and in fact is having surgery this Monday for more cancers. And so I was just thrust into, I did not have any medical background. We had this new toddler. Our daughter's adopted from Haiti. She had just come home from Haiti. And so we had this new toddler, and we were just kind of living our lives. And then suddenly I found myself in this very intense role of being his caregiver. And I looked around and realized there's all these programs for him and support for him, and that it was impacting every aspect of my life, every aspect, and that there was very little recognition or support for what it was doing to me. And so then the negative space was created from that.
Okay, so how did you arrive at The Negative Space?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Sure.
Because organizations create a name, they create
Yeah.
a vision, they create a mascot, or whatever. And I'm always curious about what.
Yeah.
And there's always some.
There's a
interesting
story.
story
Yes.
behind it.
It was my shower curtain. So my shower curtain, which is actually our logo, has these diamonds. And you can see, so one day I was in the shower and I was trying to think, what should be the name for this organization? We started as a blog back in the day when people read blogs.
Yeah.
So what should be the name of this blog? And I was in the shower looking out, and I noticed that in between the diamonds on the shower curtain was another pattern. And then that struck me as, oh yeah, from, art education 101, the term negative space, that the what's in between or behind in the back, in the background tells its own story. But nobody ever pays attention. I was thinking, how many times have I taken a shower and I never noticed this other pattern?
Right.
And then I thought, wait a minute, that's true about caregivers,
Sure.
right? We have our own story to tell. We're part of the story. We're in the background, but we are very rarely noticed or acknowledged. But if we went away,
Oh,
the whole picture would change,
right.
right? So if the negative space in that shower curtain went away, the whole artistic piece of that shower curtain would have changed. And so it was that moment that made me realize, oh wait, that describes how it feels to be a caregiver.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then how long ago was that?
That was maybe 7 years ago,
Okay, so it's
something
been a
like that. It's
while
been a
here.
while. Mhm.
Okay. So that was so you had a vision though. You just needed to kind of figure out a way to identify the vision or name the vision with the name of the organization.
Yeah, because I had started, I was actually because the sort of the double meaning with the negative space is that what I noticed really early on is that caregivers didn't feel like they had permission to talk
Oh,
about how hard this is.
so true.
So I was at a conference for people with this rare disease, and I was at a lunch for spouses of people. So this is like a really niche little group of people, right?
Right.
And the social worker looked around and said, "How is everybody doing?" And everyone said, "I'm great. I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful and I'm so happy that I get to have this role." And I literally put my fork down because I was like, these were supposed to be my people.
Right.
And I said, what, I'm sorry, but doesn't anyone else think this is really hard? And it was almost like the reaction from the room was like, oh, but we're not supposed to talk about that. We're not allowed to say that. So that is what really made me deep dive into this. Why? Why do people feel like caregivers feel like they can't talk about it? And what I have discovered, a couple things. One is people feel like, well, I'm not the one this is happening to, right? I'm not the one who is sick. Although I will tell you, as a person 14 years into this, it absolutely has impacts on my physical well-being, my emotional, my mental, all of my well-being, right? So even though I'm not the one going into the surgery room on the OR on Monday, it will absolutely impact me. So, but that's the first one is people say, well, I'm not sick, so I can't complain. The other piece is a term I like to use, which is bright-sided. And so that perhaps, like, what if I saw a friend and I was like, okay, this is my space. I'm going to say, guess what? This caregiving thing is really hard. What often happens is that that listener feels really uncomfortable
Sure.
hearing a hard thing because we're not good at talking about hard things. And they bright side right back and say, at least he found his this, at least, and that's bright siding me, which tells me, oh, my hard stuff is not safe here.
Right.
I can't talk about my hard stuff because she doesn't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. Therefore, I just shut down and start saying, okay, I guess it's not something we're going to talk about. I'm just going to go back to saying it's a gift. It's a blessing, and I'm not going to share the hard stuff.
No. It's time for a quick break here.
Okay.
We'll continue this story, which is amazing, with Allison Breininger, founder and executive director of The Negative Space. And we'll be right back. If you have a question for Allison, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you're listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hi, I'm Corey Wisco, president of the Welshire. The Welshire is a community that provides memory care to its residents, and we have a location in Bloomington and also another one that we just opened in Medina, Minnesota. But the big question is that why do people come to Welshire? Many of the people coming to Welshire are coming from other memory care communities where they maybe haven't received bathing. They've had problems taking medication or inconsistency with staffing. Welshire has never used a temporary staff. We always have our own people, and it's those people that make the difference. We have always felt it so important to have 24-hour nursing in the building. The other thing is you have to have an amazing activity team. Nobody employs more activity people than Welshire. Our activities begin in the morning, go all the way through the evening, 7 days a week. So if you have a loved one that needs memory care, come visit WelshireMN.com and book a tour today.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or visit snapconstruction.com.
Hey, Francois, what's with all the wrapping paper?
Salut Laura, je fais des cadeaux.
You're making gifts. These must be for your clients. And then your favorite macaroons for Nicolette's.
Bien sûr.
Oh, they put your business logo on them? Luxurious.
Oui, et ils expédient partout dans le pays.
They ship anywhere in the U.S. And look how many you bought. You must have lots of clients.
Mais non, ils sont tous pour moi.
Oh, Francois, these are just for you? Well, visit nicoletsmacaroons.com today to create thoughtful gifts for your business, your friends, or yourself.
Hey, folks, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Allison Breininger, and she is the founder and executive director of The Negative Space. And she is here to talk about The Negative Space's mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. This is a fascinating conversation, and I'm so grateful to have her here today. Allison, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from them. So our website is thenegativespace.life. Life. And there you can find all the things that we do for caregivers, for people who are supporting people in their life who are caregivers. You can link to, we'll talk about, we have gift boxes. You can buy a gift for a caregiver. You can connect to the storyline, all of those things. If you want to reach out to me directly, there's a contact us button. You can click there, and I would love to hear from you there. You can also, through the website, find all of our social media links and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn.
And I want to mention that you are a 501(c).
We are.
We're going to talk a little bit about that, just going from a blog to an organization here.
Yeah.
I want to, well, since we're talking about the website, that there is a donate button, and every dollar supports this amazing work.
Absolutely.
It's I had the state demographer's office on years ago, a few years ago now. It was post-COVID, and they were saying that in Minnesota, we have like, I don't know, 5 million people.
Yeah.
But there's over 600,000, more than 10% of our population is taking care of somebody, family, friend, neighbor, whatever, that's unpaid.
Yep.
They're doing it out of goodwill.
Yep.
And the ages range from 8 years old. So there's these grandchildren that are taking care of grandparents that have disabilities, have limitations, whatever it is. And so, and it's only going to grow.
For sure.
I mean, it's already in a kind of a crisis
It
situation.
is.
I think they talked about a 2030 report that said by, really a few years from now, it's going to just overwhelm the system.
It's already happening. Right.
Right. So there's a kind of a house of cards that we're kind of hoping there's no wind that's going to blow and knock this thing over, but it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
the AARP 2025 report just came out, and they're saying that 1 in 4 adults is a caregiver. And as I look at their report, I actually think a lot of the numbers are underreported because caregivers often don't consider themselves a caregiver.
Right.
They'll just say, well, I just fill up my aunt's pillboxes every Saturday. I just drive dad to physical therapy. I just take my kid to his IEP meeting, right? We use the word just too often. But all of us are really caregivers in that way. And so I think that all of these numbers, even though they are striking, I think they are actually very low. And they're low reported.
That's a good point. In the profession that I'm in, people don't realize they just it's like a frog in the beaker. You just don't realize, the heat gets turned up, and you don't realize that you can just jump out,
right?
But you can't, or you don't know you have other options. You don't have other resources.
Sure.
So so you started with a blog,
and
then you decided let's make this more
Yeah.
formal.
Yeah. So I started writing at first, and then people kind of came out of the woodwork and they said, I didn't know we were allowed to talk about this. They said, "You have my words." And so I thought, okay, there's something here. There's a need here that we are starting to meet. And so it turned into one of these things. I was the director of an AmeriCorps program, which I loved, but it was just I was so pulled to this. It just felt like all of my job and lived experiences were leading me to do this. And so about 4 years ago, I took the leap, left that big job, and started this as a nonprofit. A beautiful thing is that my husband had been in nonprofit management before his diagnosis. And so he hasn't been able to formally work since he was diagnosed, but he is able to volunteer and he does all of the fundraising and the paperwork. And so it just has been this really beautiful marriage of our partnership,
Yeah.
absolutely, of our skill sets and our lived experience to turn this into a nonprofit. So we are dedicated. We know that caregivers finances is a huge toll for caregivers, and they are very hesitant to spend any money on themselves.
Right.
They put themselves at the bottom of the list, if at the list at all. And so everything that we provide has a sliding scale down to zero. Every service we provide. And we are dedicated to maintaining that because of the donations that we're able to receive through our generous donors.
Yes. And it's just so interesting that we look at the size of the healthcare system,
Yeah.
and it's just massive. I mean, we spend trillions of dollars on healthcare, and again, it's very patient focused,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Sure.
But there's like another side of the equation.
Yes.
That I think we see in our profession in hospice,
Right.
that family members are caring. Or I told you the story where we'll walk in and you can't tell which person is the one needing hospice,
Right.
because the caregiver is so burnt out and so exhausted.
Yes.
And we just don't feel bad. It's great that we can come into the home and help the little that we can with the medical care.
Right.
But it's tough, because sometimes I know we have people that say, well, I don't want someone to come in and care for my loved one.
Right.
That's my job.
Right.
Well, you got to look at how do you take care? How do you balance that?
Right. And it's not sustainable.
Right.
That's what I always try to say. So I've been doing this 14 years, right? And it is not sustainable. And to do it all on our own, it just isn't. And when you said, you look at those two people and you say, which one is the one technically needing hospice, right? And there's lots of statistics about how the caregiver often passes away before the cared for, especially in the Alzheimer's dementia world.
Oh, sure. Because the long trajectory.
Well, just because it is so intense.
Yeah.
So intense. But I think the statistic is that we caregivers have a 63% higher mortality rate than our peers.
Wow.
And so in some cases, they're starting to call caregivers the second patient, because really we then end up needing all this medical care and support as well because of the toll that this takes. So imagine all of that, though, the toll, but then being unseen. Right. So my husband's going through all of these things, but people are very aware of it and there are systems in place. I'm going through all of this and there's very little recognition of the toll it's taking.
Right.
And so it's sort of this extra burden and weight and heaviness of like, you're going through this thing and you have these terrible statistics and you're probably going to die soon. And nobody's really paying attention or providing anything for you.
Right. Right. No acknowledgement.
Right.
No, right.
Right.
Well, like you said earlier in the previous segment, people don't want to venture into that because they don't know what to say.
It's uncomfortable.
Right. Right. Wow.
Yeah.
But that's where it's so interesting when you had your first support group that you were in, and everyone's just denying. They're just in denial of how they really feel.
Right.
And you gave them a voice. Like you said earlier.
Yes.
You're saying the words that I feel.
Yes.
Isn't that, that's really empowering.
It is. Absolutely.
For both you and for the people that you're supporting.
Yep. And I'm really happy to be able to do that.
All right. Well, the music's cueing us out here. Time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Allison Breininger, the founder and executive director of The Negative Space. And she's here talking about their mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Adventure is calling. Set sail with Treasure Island at Children's Theatre Company, where danger, discovery, and daring sword fights await. Follow young Jim Hawkins on a journey filled with mysterious maps, buried treasure, and the unforgettable Long John Silver. A legendary story brought to life with stunning visuals, live music, and heart-pounding action. Don't miss Treasure Island, September 9th through October 19th. Tickets at childrenstheatre.org.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. We have families waiting for a car. You know, over 85% of unemployed are successful in finding and keeping a job if they have dependable transportation. A car plus a job equals a life changed. 612-919-5526. We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Hi, I'm Scott Shamblot from Shamblot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. We know dental anxiety and dental phobia are real. We'll take the time to get to know you and give you what you need to be comfortable at all times. We offer free nitrous oxide laughing gas and have high-tech options to help you feel calm and relaxed during your appointments. We'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been going to Shamblot Family Dentistry for years. They get me in last minute when I'm in pain and make regular checkups easy and comfortable.
Shamblot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblotfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
With a look at your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. Sunny and 87 for your high today. Clear and 69 tonight. Tomorrow, clouds will roll in and a high of 81. The enormous crocodile is hungry and on the prowl. Only his jungle friends can stop his secret tricks in this larger-than-life adventure filled with puppets, surprises, and even a dance party in space. Don't miss the U.S. premiere at the Children's Theatre October 1st through November 23rd.
AM 950 KTN up St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Saturday. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Allison Breininger. She is the founder and executive director of The Negative Space, and she is here to talk about their mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. Before we return to our conversation with Allison, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life healthcare services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services right to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The phone is answered by a registered nurse, and their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022, or simply visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our conversation with Allison Breininger. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Allison, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Yeah, they can find us online at thenegativespace.life. And there they can learn about all of our services. They can contact me directly. They can find our podcast. They can find the storyline. All of the things are there on the website. They can also then connect to us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn through our website.
All right. And you have a big event coming up.
We do.
I'm excited about that.
I know,
Yes.
November. So November is a caregiver month, National Caregiver Month. And so we're kicking that off on November 1st with Caregiver Con. It is at the U of M at the Humphreys Building. And it's a day-long event for family caregivers. And we are, you can make the day whatever you want it. We're going to have amazing keynote speakers and breakout sessions and things like that. But we're also going to have free massages and therapy dogs and a quiet room. And so if you just want to spend your whole day with a therapy dog and free coffee,
And a massage.
caregiver and a massage, we love that for you. You can come and go. We're going to have an optional happy hour afterwards. And we're also adding live streaming this year because we know that caregivers, whether you're in town or out of town, you never know.
Right.
Day by day, hour by hour, what your life is going to look like. And so if your caregiving life doesn't allow you to come in person, we would love to have you join us via live stream. So the website for that is caregivercon.com. And you can check that out and register, and we would love to see you there. And if you do end up coming, please come and find me. I would love to meet you.
All right. So let's remind you, CaregiverCon, C-O-N.
Correct.
.com.
Correct.
All right.
You got it.
All right.
November 1st.
We will make sure that we say it again throughout the show here,
Great.
the remainder of the show, so that people can get that, because it is a different website. And
Sure.
There's no link from the Negative Space
Sure.
website,
Yes.
right? So it's just
Got its own website.
Yep. Yeah. Type this in, folks.
Yeah.
CaregiverCon, CON.com.
Yep.
All right. All right. Fantastic. Well, we've been kind of teasing people about all these services we have here. So let's talk about these. You have such a great array of services.
We do, yeah.
Let's talk about those.
Great. So one of the things is we have a podcast. It's called the In Sickness Podcast. My co-host is a male caregiver because he has a really different perspective, and his wife has a very different health journey than my husband does. And we have, I think, 117 episodes now or something like that. So you can find that wherever you get your podcasts or through our website, in the In Sickness Podcast. And then a really cool thing that we have started is that we do virtual support groups based on the podcast topic. And so it's almost like a book club. And so instead of going to a support group like the one I described earlier, where you just say, how is everyone? Right? You never know what you're going to get. Instead, the podcast comes out on a Tuesday, and then the next week we hold a virtual support group on that topic. And so you don't have to listen to the podcast, but at least you kind of know what you're getting into. And so there are some topics that people really are like, yes, I can't miss this support group, or other ones where they're like, that is not a topic for me. I'm gonna step out on that one. And so the virtual support groups are every other week. They are free and they're open to all types of caregivers. We have people from all over the world that join us. It's really beautiful. I also offer one-on-one coaching support. And mostly that is, some people want strategies and tips and tricks, but mostly people just want someone who's going to nod and say, yep, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Empathize.
Yes.
If empathy were just
Exactly.
something to give to people.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So that's something that we offer. We offer caregiver gift boxes. And so whether you want to get one for yourself as a caregiver, or if you're a person and you have a caregiver in your life and you're just not sure what to say, we have these caregiver gift boxes. And the theme of those is, I'm part of the story. And I tell you what happens when people open that box? They cry.
Mhm.
Because they often didn't realize they were part of the story. Nobody had ever said that to them. And so it's full of a mug and socks and things like that that say, I'm part of the story. And they really feel seen. We have a new amazing offering that we have been working on for years, and we're so excited that it's in the world. It's called the Storyline. And what that is that I know from my own experience is that often I need support in the middle of the night, in the surgery waiting room, in the ER, like when other humans are not available, right?
Right.
And so the storyline is available online anytime. There's 8 different what we call chapters and that you can choose from at this moment, and we're going to continue to build it out. So let's say your person is newly diagnosed and you just don't even know where to begin, or like me, I'm going to be sitting in a surgery waiting room on Monday, right? So you can click on surgery day, you can click on whichever chapter. Maybe you're feeling lonely, you're trying to figure out how to balance work and caregiving, so you can click on the chapter, or you can sort by tool. And so I have an education background. And so I built these tools that are really meant to meet all different learning styles. And we've worked together with local experts to do things like there's a song that someone wrote for caregivers. We have sound baths. We have therapeutic yoga that can be done, at the bedside in the ER, like not fancy. You don't need, a leotard, that kind of thing, right? All these are all really hands-on practical things for caregivers. So if you go into any of the chapters, if you go into newly diagnosed, what you'll find there is about 15 or 20 different tools that you can access, that whether it's reflection questions or a video or a guided meditation, all designed specifically for caregivers in that moment. And so this is on our website. The first 2 chapters, newly diagnosed and transitioning into a season of caregiving, are free and available forever. Beyond that, it's a $5.99 a month membership. But like I said, we are dedicated to supporting caregivers forever, throughout, no matter. We never want finances to be a barricade for them. And so there's a button they can push that says, I'd like some support, and then we give it to them for free. Same with the boxes, same with everything. Same with the one-on-one coaching. Everything we offer, there's always an option to be able to get it at no cost. And that's thanks to our donors, because we're
Exactly.
dedicated to that.
Right. Well, boy, nice to have donors to sponsor someone for a year.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
just $72 sponsor someone for a
Exactly.
year. I mean, that'd be great.
Exactly. And you can also do it as a gift for someone.
Yes.
So you could give them a year
Yes.
subscription or a 3-month subscription or a box as a gift, but you could also make a donation to us, and then we're able to do that for
Sure.
caregivers. So
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. But I'm looking at your page here, and there's just right. People really need to go to the negative space .life.
Yep.
The negative space .life. Remember
Yep.
that, folks.
Dig in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because there's so much information there.
Yeah.
Wow, you've really it's a beautiful website.
Thank
Wow.
you.
And I can tell you're very creative, and you have an education background, because you did a nice job of trying to present. There's so much information here. Well, let's keep a couple more minutes in this
Sure.
segment. We actually have a caller
Great.
who is in hospice care and giving what kind of opportunities are being explored, and so caregivers in hospice can get aid and help. So do you? So caregiving.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're in hospice or not, or
Sure.
they're in palliative care, or there's other kinds of
Right.
care along the stream of healthcare.
Mhm.
Do you have anything that focuses on people that are caregiving for somebody who's at end of life or in
Sure.
a hospice environment?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the chapters in the storyline is around grief. And as caregivers, we experience grief all along the way, right? I think that people often think of grief as just at the end, but there's a lot of anticipatory grief as well.
Boy, no kidding about that.
Yes. And so I think that is the piece. And we've also had lots of, we have podcast episodes on palliative care, with a death doula, a lot of episodes on that. But I would love to hear from you as well. I mean, you're the expert in this area.
Well, one of the things that we found, and we've invested a lot of time and energy into creating education for communities that caregivers can go to. So whether it's at a senior center or it's in communities, residential or senior care communities, they can't get enough.
Yeah.
It's just because, again, people, especially in Minnesota, I don't know, I'm always doing fine. I'm fine.
Sure.
They're so, it's not about them.
Right.
And which is great. We have a great culture here, but people just don't sometimes understand what they're feeling, what they're experiencing is common. They always feel like it's only happening to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's how it is with almost anything, any challenge in life. You feel like you're the only one.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to have resources like yours.
Right.
It says, no, I'm not the only one.
Yes.
I don't have to keep saying I'm good.
Yeah,
when I'm not.
right.
Because other people are going to say, you're right, you're not good.
Right.
You need help, or
Yes.
you need to acknowledge
Yes.
these things.
And that's my favorite part about our virtual support groups. It's on Zoom. And so someone will say something that they've clearly never said out loud before. And then all the little heads start nodding, right? And they're like, oh, I thought I was the only one.
Right.
And so I think, and part of what I do on social media and other places, that I just share really openly about my own personal caregiving story, which I am deep in at the moment, and continue to be. And then people are able to see, like, oh, I'm not the only one that feels like that. I'm not the only one who's dealing with these things. And so that's part of our mission as well, is just sharing and shining light on my own personal story so that others can better understand what it's like.
It's pretty powerful to have you who is experiencing it. This is real. This is raw. This is your life.
Yeah.
To be able to then articulate. I think being that educator, able to articulate what people are feeling and saying, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. That's what you put words to how I'm feeling. And I think that's just so powerful for people just to again know. It must help them kind of get rejuvenated to help continue that service that they're in.
Yes.
Knowing that they're not alone.
Exactly. And like you said, that I am able to articulate.
Right.
I can put words to, because also I have the benefit of hanging out with caregivers all the time.
That's
so I
true.
can kind of take all of that, distill it, and then turn it into something and say, oh, I think it's this, and this is what I'm seeing. And the people are going, oh, that's what it is. I didn't know there was a name for it. I didn't know that I wasn't the only one, right? Things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. All right, Allison, it's time for a quick break here.
Sure.
We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Allison Breininger, founder and executive director of The Negative Space. And she is here talking about their mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. If you have a question for us, please give us a call. I appreciate the call that just came in here just this last segment. We sure appreciate the phone calls. Please give us a call if you have a question, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
Time is running out. Don't miss Doris Hines closes October 12th at History Theater in St. Paul. This electrifying world premiere celebrates the extraordinary life of Minneapolis jazz legend Doris Hines with her music, her courage, and her lasting influence on the Twin Cities and beyond. Through unforgettable performances and live jazz, the show honors a woman who sang with the greats and inspired generations. Seats are going fast and discounts are available for students, seniors, and veterans. Learn more at historytheater.com. That's historytheater.com.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Your time is precious. Why are you still mowing your own lawn? I'm Alex Knorr, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. At Buzzcut Mowing, I offer weekly mowing, leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I work hard so you can relax and enjoy time with family and friends. Call today and I'll handle the rest. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
Hey, it's Tom. There's a war being waged on clean energy. A bill in Congress could eliminate the 30% federal tax credit for solar by the end of 2025. And once it's gone, it may never come back. Fossil fuel giants and their MAGA friends in Washington want to kill green energy. But you can fight back. Going solar with All Energy Solar isn't just smart, it's a form of resistance. You choose where your money goes, not to utility companies, not to fossil fuel billionaires, but toward clean, renewable power for your home. A system from All Energy Solar works in Minnesota year-round because it runs on sunlight, not heat. So even in the dead of winter, you're generating electricity. And All Energy Solar helps you save with every rebate and incentive available. This is the moment to act. Waiting means risking with this tax credit and giving the upper hand to MAGA Republicans. So get your free consultation today at allenergysolar.com and take back your power.
Saturday.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Allison Breininger. She is the founder and executive director of The Negative Space, and she is talking about their mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. If you have a question for us, give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Allison, how can our listeners contact you guys if they have questions or want more information?
Yeah, the best place is to look at our website, which is thenegativespace.life. And there you can click on contact us and you'll get right to me. You can find us on social media. You can find about all the storyline, the podcast, all the things we've talked about today, except for Caregiver Con.
Yes.
So that is the November 1st conference coming up. There you can go to caregivercon.com to see the agenda and to register and all of that. And remember that we get it as caregivers, so you can come and go as you please that day. And we would just love to see you. It's also a live stream option.
Okay, and where's it being held at?
At the U of M.
U of M.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So 2 websites to remember, folks. The negativespace.life
Yep.
is Allison's website with all the services there. And then we've got the caregivercon.com.
Yep.
All right. Okay, and I also mentioned you've got a donation button. You're a 501(c)(3) organization. Donations are critical to your mission.
It's true.
Helping support other people.
Yes.
And you're doing a great job of that.
Thank you.
And I mean, the resources you have put together here are just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So I'd really encourage people, even if you don't think you're a caregiver,
right?
But this is kind of ringing true.
Sure.
It's connecting with you.
Yeah.
You're probably a caregiver,
right?
And let's talk about it's
Yeah.
not just people with cancer or
It's true,
with
right?
other things.
Yeah.
I mean, caregiving is such a broad
It
definition.
is. It is. And you have been, saying our mission, which is that we're here for caregivers, changing the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. And so people look at me with this guy with all these cancers and like, well, of course you're a caregiver, but they don't always consider themselves. And if they don't consider themselves a caregiver, they're not going to access those resources.
Oh, right.
That they probably could really benefit from. And so thinking about maybe, like I said, it's your, caring for that, an aging relative, you're taking them to an appointment, you've got kids at home, you've got grandkids. So many people are in the sandwich generation of either kids and parents or grandkids. And so, it's not like you need a badge, right? It's not a competition. Just to stop and think about, are there people in your life or even the animals in your life, right? That I think the care that you are providing to creatures in your life throughout your week, and how much time and energy is that taking up, and how could you use some support in that?
Yeah. And we've only got a few minutes here in this segment, but I want to just touch quickly on, is it more gender specific in terms of women falling in more naturally to that role? Because I know Jack's Kyle Woody was on here.
Yes, we love
Jack.
Jack.
He said, oh my gosh, guys just don't know what to do.
Sure.
You want to solve a problem.
Right.
Guys are great at trying to solve a problem, but they just don't understand all the dimensions and dynamics. And I'm just curious if you have both men and women on in your program or watching the videos or part of all the different
we definitely do. And I think it does skew to women, and that's what the new AARP thing report also shows. And it's interesting that the men that do take advantage of our programs are often younger men. And so I don't know if there's sort of more of a cultural shift of like the younger guys are like, hey, I'm doing this thing and I'm fine talking about it and getting the support that I need.
Yeah. Do you find that there's different perspectives or different viewpoints then with the different, a young man versus a female who's been doing this for a long time? or are they pretty much kind of universal?
You know, I
some
think
of the-
everyone's got their own stories.
Yeah.
And there are some absolute universal truths. And I think a big one is we're tired.
Yes.
We're tired. You know, when I do,
Exhaustion.
yes, when I do these webinars, I say, what's one word to describe how you're feeling today? Overwhelmed and exhausted are always the top two words. So I think there are things that, regardless of our age or our gender or what it is that our person has, there's things that bring us together. And that's why things like these support groups or using the storyline can really support, because it can help you realize, like, oh, somebody else is going through this too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you have a section here on your
Yeah.
website called The Supporter.
Yeah. For supporters.
Yes. For supporters, can you just talk about that for a little bit? We only have a
Yes.
couple minutes left
Sure.
in this segment.
Because the branch of this is that what I realized early on is that even if they feel great being around us at the negative space, they're out there, these caregivers in the world, right? And so if their neighbor is bright-siding them, or their doctor's not paying attention to them, or their faith leader isn't acknowledging them, that feels gross, right? And so part of our mission is to also support the supporters. And so doing things like, hey, supporters, it's the weekend. Here are 3 things you could do to help a caregiver in your life this weekend. And that's me talking to med students to say, hey, you're going to be focused on that person. There's another person that's going to be in the room who also needs your care and support. And here's 5 ways that you can do that. And so it's really basic things. And so even because we're in a medical crisis at my house right now, some things that people have done have said things like, hey, I know this is a rough week. Would you like me to walk the dog, rake the leaves, or drop off dinner? Or a friend said, I'm going to bring dinner. Do you want it Monday or Tuesday? Because I think a trap we fall into is saying, just let me know if I can do anything.
Oh, right.
What does that mean?
Right.
And we're Minnesotans. We're not going to
Right.
say
We're
anything,
not
right?
gonna ask the next question.
And
Yeah.
so, or even just let me know what I can do, right? And so that puts another thing on the caregiver's to-do
True.
list. And so instead, give them a list. Tell them you really mean it.
Right.
And make it the basic things. Hey, do you want me to come over and take out the garbage, or unload the dishwasher, or vacuum your rug, like whatever that is. And then just let them. And I think another thing I love to say is to always on a text say, but no need to respond.
True.
Because that also then takes it off of my to-do list. I don't have to say, oh, respond to Ken as his text, like, nope, he's just reaching out and he's offering these things. And so that's part of our mission as well. And that's why we have the gift boxes and we have the storyline subscriptions, so that when you don't know how to show up for a person in your life, you can do these things. You can send them these things. We've done the hard work of putting it together. You can just send it to them and we'll do the rest.
Wow, that's fantastic. Let's also mention that Give to the Max Day
Yes.
is coming up next month
In November. Mhm.
And let's talk about, remind people how that works.
Yeah. So Give to the Max Day. I mean, Minnesota is so good at having a big heart for nonprofits, and and we love that. And so we have our own Give to the Max Day here in the state, and the negative space is part of that. And so on Give to the Max Day, you can look up your favorite nonprofit organizations and you can make donations that day. I mean, we certainly are happy to accept donations any day of the year, but that's a big day, and we often are going to have matching gifts that are available. And so you can look for us, the negative space, on Give to the Max Day.
Well, fantastic. And again, if you're interested in helping support Allison's mission here, go to the website, thenegativespace.life, and there's a donate button there. And every dollar is so important to helping support caregivers, of which they're kind of the silent majority out there.
Yes.
I mean, they just don't get the
absolutely.
recognition.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been great having you on the show.
Thank you so
I am
much.
so appreciative of you taking that time out of a Saturday to come in and share your organization and your story.
Yeah.
We see you and hear you.
Thank
and
you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. We want to thank Allison Breininger. She is the founder and executive director of The Negative Space, and she was here today sharing their mission to change the way caregivers of all kinds are seen and supported. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions you have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast. And thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, please choose to live well.
You have a loved one who is not receiving the care that they deserve at their current memory care facility. I'm Aiden Haglind, Director of Community Relations here at the Welshire.